The River City Wrestling Con is happening June 8th and 9th at the World Golf Village in St. Augustine, Florida. Visit rivercitywrestlingcon.com for more information and tickets. I'm telling you right now, brothers and sisters, this is going to be the biggest and best River City Wrestling Con ever. Guests scheduled to appear include The Icon, Sting, Trish Stratus, Devon Dudley, Big Vito LaGrasso, Lita, Booker T, the Hardy Boys, and so much more. But get this, there will also be live wrestling action. Mission Pro Wrestling champion Tiffany Nieves takes on Ruthie J. We also have Scotty Sosa. We also have the gold medalist herself, the suplex queen herself, Tiny Thunderly. She'll be in action. Once again, folks, World Golf Village, St. Augustine, Florida, June 8th and 9th, the River City Wrestling Con, rivercitywrestlingcon.com for ticket information. Check it out. That's right.
Locked in.
Look at what we have here, folks.
To the only show that matters.
The cream of the crop.
Duke Loves Rasslin.
And there is no one that does it better than
your host.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
The Duke.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
What's poppin'? It's the Bougettoist Baddie around, Hollyhood Hayley J. Shout out to Duke Loves Rasslin.
Brothers and sisters, legitimately one of the most requested guests in Duke Loves Rasslin history. She is tearing it up all over the indie scene. She's tearing it up all over TV. She's tearing it up all over the world. And now she's here on Duke Loves Rasslin. It is really an honor and a privilege to have Hollyhood Hayley J here for you. How you doing there, Hayley?
What's poppin'? I'm good. I'm the most requested. That's crazy.
It is. Well, listen, you know, once you done did that Wrestlers on Netflix and folks really got to see not
Me.
only, yeah, you. It was the Hayley J show. Let's be honest here, right?
Right.
They got to see you and on different levels. They got to see Hayley J, the pro wrestler, Hayley J, the woman behind the scenes, Hayley J, the woman working at the hotel, the daughter, the mother, the everything. And people really took to you pretty heavy. I mean, how does that feel to be able to show your true, authentic self on many levels and yet be accepted at the same time?
I think it felt good because I'm sure, as you know, before the Netflix thing came out, people had assumed a lot of things about me and the internet was going crazy over Hayley J. So I think once my story actually came out, you know, people watched and learned who I was. I was honestly expecting the opposite. I was expecting what I was already getting before, but it wasn't. It was a lot of love and a lot of people come up and tell me I'm an inspiration, and it makes me feel good because it's like, dang, I do something that, you know, people look up to or whatever. So I feel good about it.
So let me ask you this, and I'm sorry for getting deep with this question, but I want to know, and I think people want to know. Are you at a stage now where when you look in the mirror, you see what the rest of us see?
You know, I'm at a stage where I look in the mirror and I'm happy. I'll say that much. I don't really know or necessarily think it's my business what everyone sees or thinks about me, but I think I'm going in the right direction and I'm doing great and I'm happy. My son's happy, and that's all I really care about, if I'm being honest with you.
That's a very mature response to that. Very mature. You're happy. Your son's happy. How's your mom doing?
She's good. She's still out here getting on my nerves per usual. Yeah, you know, nothing's changed there, but she's good. We're tag champs out at WOW, you know, Hong Kong.
Yeah, which is very interesting here. So the Mother Truckers, the tag team champs in WOW, Women of Wrestling, legitimately, if you don't know it, now you know it. WOW is the #2 promotion in the world. And the reason why I say that is because they have full distribution here in the United States. Other than WWE, no other company has full distribution like WoW does. Right? They have this wonderful contract with CBS Viacom. They're on
Yep.
TV every week. They're on the web. They're everywhere. No matter where you are on the planet, you can see WoW. And the fact that Hayley J and her mom Maria are tag team champs, the mother truckers there, that is a major, major accomplishment.
It's pretty cool. It's we consider, like history. She loves it. She loves the fact that we even got to tag on, national TV together, but we won the titles. That was a whole nother thing for her.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And you've been kicking butt in OVW, obviously.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I'm coming back for my titles. You can tell your little friend, Leila Gray.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
See, I thought we were going to get through this conversation without you dissing my friends, but you had to bring it there, right? Wow.
You knew I would.
This is I would. You and Leila have had a feud for a couple of years now, and it just keeps getting more and more intense. What's the story behind you and her? Like, what's the beef here?
I'm sick of Leila. The beef, I don't know. She was a newbie who came in with a big head. I got the hot head. She got the big head. And yeah, that was pretty much it. I thought we squashed things forever ago, but then I feel like we kind of changed roles. Like once we had our feud, when she cut my hair, I was, the big bad bully guy, and she was the sweet little girl. And now all of a sudden she turned into this backup baddie and has a whole different attitude that blows my mind. And then now, if you guys are keeping up with OVW, she's all sad boo-hooing because her friends, all of her baddies turned on her. Tiffany, your other bestie, they're all fake. That's my beef with them. They're all fake.
Is that why you only stick with your family? Because, folks can turn on you at the drop of the dime like that?
And they do. They definitely do.
That is a trip. Folks, you got to check out OVW Live if you haven't already. You want to stay locked in and catch up. Certainly, Leila Gray and Tiffany Nieves, La Princessa, they got some problems going on. And as you heard, Hollyhood Hayley J, she wants to come back and reclaim her title.
Of course.
Queen of OVW, man.
And I don't like none of them, just to clarify. I don't like none of them. I don't like Tiffany, and I don't like Leila. And just because, we got a common enemy doesn't make us friends. I know that much.
Unbelievable. What does Al Snow do with you? I mean, you got all this energy. You got all this bravado. You back it up in the ring. What does Al Snow do with you?
I like to think that I'm Al Snow's favorite. Apparently that's not true if you ask him, but I like to think I am. I bother him. If I see him out in public, I cause a scene and let everyone know that Al Snow's here. We be on signings together. I try to annoy Al as much as I can. Just before I, go out to the big time. He's really going to miss me then.
Everyone is supposed to be afraid and intimidated by this legend, this guy who was training, Dan the Beast Severin to be in the first UFC. Like, legitimately, Al Snow has been around a long time, a lot of experience on different levels here. And yet you're the one that's going around trying to embarrass him and push his buttons and things like that. This is crazy.
Oh, yeah. He hates it. I call him Granddaddy. I love Al, man. I got so much respect for Al. It's crazy. I love the fact that I can, I go out here and I represent him and what he's teaching at OVW because Al's the man. He really is.
He really is. Shout out to Al Snow. He's been a guest on this show before. We got a lot of respect for him. And congratulations to Al. When he was on this show, probably about 6 years ago, he had just started Collar and Elbow brand with his partners. Right?
Okay.
And now legitimately that's the #1 t-shirt brand in pro wrestling. So that's that's amazing. That's amazing. So shout out to him. In fact, you're going to be paired up with Al and La Princessa at the River City Wrestling Con coming up, right?
Oh, yeah.
You're going to be doing a panel about wrestlers on Netflix and OVW and what have you. What can fans expect when they see you at live events like this, where you get to do more meet and greet, sign autographs, the whole 9 yards?
Well, you can expect to get close to me for once in your life. You're welcome. No, you get to meet me. You'll get the real experience with me anyways. That's all I can speak for myself when I say it's better. I'm better live than, on TV or phone, camera, whatever. Everyone always wants me to do social media stuff because they say I have the personality for it, but I'm more of a live person. So you come, you get entertained. That's for sure. I'll make you laugh. Expect that.
Live and in color, Hollyhood Hayley J, River City Wrestling Con. And the best part, folks, she's going to be there all weekend. So both days there, you're going to get an opportunity to meet and spend some time with Hollyhood Hayley J. I love it. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Now, what's this stuff about you going over to England? You've been making stops over there, getting these stamps in the passport, huh?
Yeah, so I'm actually an international champion right now at IWN. Yeah, I go back at the end of June 28th to defend my title there, but I have it here with me in the States, and I'm defending it against anybody who want a shot, you know? And yeah, that's pretty much it there. I'm an international superstar now, you guys.
So are you walking around with your pinky up when you sip on your tea? You know, are you doing all this fancy stuff? Oh yeah.
No, the craziest thing when I went to England, I was like walking around on is it the beach? I don't know what you would call it, but it's pebbles. So I wouldn't call it a beach because it's not sand, it's pebbles. But I was just by myself and I'm like, oh, what's poppin'? Like, hey, how y'all doing? And everyone would look at me and they always say, "You all right, mate? You all right? You all right?" Uh-oh. And I kept asking, I'm like, why do they keep asking me if I'm okay? Like, yes, I'm okay. But it was just how they say, you know, like, hello, I guess. It's not like, what's poppin'? So I thought that they thought I was crazy, which I'm sure some probably did, but they was not making no new friends.
No new friend. I love it. Listen, that's the reality show that we need right there. Okay,
oh my gosh.
Hollyhood Hayley J invades England.
Behind
you just
the
walking
scenes.
around, being yourself. Yeah, right. Just behind the scenes, you know.
Yeah.
Somebody call the king. Let's make this happen. You definitely got to spend some time with the king, right?
No, I didn't, but if we do, that would be great.
That would be
make
crazy.
It happen, wouldn't it? That would definitely be filmed if I was there.
Yeah. I'm putting it out into the world there, folks. Somebody make this happen. We got a lot of listeners and friends in England. Let's have King Charles spend some time with Hollyhood Hayley J. We're going to see it. I'm telling you. I love it. You know, it's crazy, and you brought it up. A lot of people through the years have taken you the wrong way. They have assumed things about you without knowing you and without taking the time to get to know you. And, you know, I had these negative reactions. In fact, we were talking about this offline. There was a period of time where you were trending, every 3 to 6 months.
Yeah. You know what they say, any publicity is good publicity.
Well, yeah, you managed to turn it into something positive for sure. There's no two ways about it.
No, it was really annoying, actually. But I'm glad that's why I'm glad I got to do the Netflix thing and let everyone kind of get to see that I'm just being me and I'm not playing this character. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anyone.
Yeah. And that's important.
Yeah.
I was telling you a story offline. A mutual friend of ours who, God rest his soul, Terry, Trey D from We Luv Wrestling. He passed away back in April. Just really heavy and a big loss for the entire wrestling community. But Terry was a big supporter of yours.
Yeah.
And he went out of his way to basically vouch for you. You know,
yeah.
He and I had a lot of conversations about not only just him vouching for you to me, but telling me about other times where he's spoken up and supported you and vouched for you and just say, no, she's cool, man. And that's really who Hayley is. That's not an act. It's not a gimmick. That is her authentic self. And I respect it. So any thoughts on that?
Yeah, you know, like I told you, shout out to Terry, man, because no, I didn't know that. Before I told you I would, you know, talk shit to Terry, like, oh, I know what y'all doing. I know, I see you talking online. I see, you know, holding a grudge, Hayley J. But Terry was always cool, man. He was around my friends, which tells me that he's cool right there. I'll say that. Maserati, shout out to her, you know, all the people that he liked, I like. And, yeah, shout out to him. That's crazy. It's crazy that y'all just now tell me that. That's what's crazy to me. I'm like, damn. I can't go, you know, like take the picture or anything, you know what I'm saying? So I guess there's a little bit of advice for you. Fuck, take the picture.
Take the picture. There you go. Wow.
Take it.
Take
yeah, man.
You should put that on a t-shirt. Take the picture.
Take it.
The picture. But it's a lesson. We never know who could be impacting our lives in the different ways that they can.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We always notice when it feels like somebody's having a negative impact on our lives.
Of course.
We may not always realize the people who are really cheering for us and really pulling for us and actually moving obstacles out of the way. So our path can be more clear. And certainly Terry from We Luv Wrestling, he was that kind of person. He did it for so many people. And I can speak from experience. He absolutely did it for you. So part of doing this interview and doing this conversation, I needed this because I needed to tell you that for him.
Yeah.
So,
that's crazy, man. Yeah, I really do appreciate that. I appreciate anyone who, got my back because it usually causes them more problems, trying to speak out for Hayley J rather than just being quiet. So I really do appreciate that. I just wish I could tell him.
Well, you did. He's here with us. No two ways about it. And it's interesting. I think you bring up a very good point about wrestlers on Netflix. Since the airing of that, there's a lot less problems with saying, hey, I'm a Hayley J fan. I like her. Saying that out loud, it doesn't seem like there's much pushback anymore on that.
Right. Yeah, I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that.
That's dope. Well, listen, everybody listening right now, I'm sure they want to continue to follow you on your journey. What's the best way that they can keep track of Hayley J, no matter where she is in the world?
All these social media apps that they got these days. I'm on every single one of them at Hollyhood Hayley J. I only have one account, one username. So if you see any more, it is not me. But Hollyhood Hayley J. And that's on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, X. It's not Twitter anymore, X. I'm still behind, obviously. And yeah.
You too busy traveling. You don't know what they call these things right now, right?
I'm actually the worst on social media. I'm gonna start trying to, do better and maybe even, start doing some like lives and stuff, letting people a little bit more in on my life. I'm just, I'm old school too. I don't want to do none of that.
Everything in moderation. I think that's what they say, right? Everything in moderation is not so
exactly.
Bad. Before I let you go, I gotta ask because. OVW, you folks are up there in Kentucky. Mm-hmm. For Hayley J, Hollyhood, somebody who has spent all sorts of time in Kentucky, seen it all out there. Mm-hmm. For somebody like myself, I'm from Boston. I love food. I love to eat what the people who actually live someplace eats. So when I come up to Kentucky next, what am I getting and why?
What are you getting? Come on, bro. This is Kentucky. You better get some bourbon or, something to drink out here. I don't know what our best food place would be, but I would say get you some bourbon that's made in Kentucky and, take flight.
I wouldn't expect anything better. I love it. Get some bourbon. Get the good stuff there. Mm-hmm. Her name is Hollyhood Hayley J. Once again, folks, River City Wrestling Con. She's going to be there all weekend long, and she wants to see you.
I do.
Okay? Now, tickets are limited, folks. This is going to be a sold-out event, so hurry up. Go online, rivercitywrestlingcon.com. Get your tickets. You do not want to miss one of the biggest, brightest stars on the wrestling scene today, Hollyhood Hayley J. Listen, I appreciate you. I respect you. And I look forward to seeing what you're going to do next out there.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Let's talk hydration. See, I carry something to drink with me every single place that I go because I am concerned about being dehydrated. It runs in the family. Everything from dry mouth, dizzy spells, fainting. It's pretty serious. And I've tried all the different types of waters and sports drinks. Let me tell you something right now. Liquid IV. That has been the most efficient at keeping me hydrated and doing so pretty quickly. Okay, Liquid IV has 5 essential vitamins and is 2 times faster at keeping you hydrated than water alone. And I'm serious, man. Everything from vitamin C to vitamins B3, B5, B6, B12. Liquid IV also is non-GMO, so it's free from gluten, dairy, soy. It's for all you folks out there with food allergies, this may be right up your alley. And I know what you're thinking, but how does it taste, Duke? Well, it tastes pretty good. Okay, we're talking my favorite in pina colada. They also have tropical punch, strawberry, new flavors like sea berry and strawberry lemonade. You can enjoy this stuff, man. But don't take my word for it. I want you to stop what you're doing right now and head over to liquidiv.com. Use the promo code Duke Loves Rasslin so you get 20% off your entire order. I mean, anything that you order on liquidiv.com. So what are you waiting for? It's time for you to shop better hydration today. Use the promo code Duke Loves Rasslin over at liquidiv.com. Save yourself 20%. Stay hydrated. Most importantly, enjoy life. That's right.
My name is Ronin, and you are listening to Duke Loves Rasslin. Ronin's goal in professional wrestling is to bring back that violence and intensity that I personally feel is missing. Excitement is in wrestling, but violence and malintent and the hold for holds, breaking an opponent down, I feel like is missing. Breaking opponent down limb by limb, telling a story with your body is something that Ronin truly wants to bring back to professional wrestling.
Well, Ronin, first and foremost, welcome to Duke Loves Rasslin. It's a pleasure to have you on the show, and you know, hopefully, you consider me a friend because that was a pretty terrifying thing that you just said there.
Thank you, Duke, for having me on your show. I truly appreciate it, and you got nothing to worry about. We're not standing across from each other, so we're good.
We're not standing across from each other, and I certainly don't plan on it because, folks, I'm telling you right now, stop what you're doing. You want to look up who this guy is if you don't already know. Legitimately one of the most believable, dangerous, scary competitors, fighters, to come along in a long time in pro wrestling. I mean, legitimately, this guy is just 100% ass kicking as soon as the bell rings and until the referee finally begs him to stop. It's something unlike what I've seen in a long, long time. Where does this come from, Ronin? Where this spirit of wanting to, like you said, break your opponents down the way that you do, and the fact that you're so efficient at it?
It all stems from trauma. A lot of us, for the most part, were bullied when we were younger. We all have that story. For me, it was something that has stood with me for a while. There's some certain things that transpired when I was a child, which caused me to view the world a little bit differently. I wouldn't say grow up fast, but it made me look at people differently. And you have that guard on. I was the fat kid with glasses. You know, I looked like the kid from Up, but with glasses. I was just very heavy set. And I was very kind to everyone. I always wanted to be everyone's friend. I always wanted to people please because I didn't want to be bullied. I didn't like that feeling. And it was very nerve wracking to be made fun of, beat up, consistently be made fun of because you're fat and whatnot. And I kind of harnessed that inside for a very, very, very long time. And then as I got older, I was a bigger kid. I played football. I wrestled. The funny part is I didn't like amateur wrestling at all. I didn't like that feeling of being held down and someone able to do to me what was done to me in school. And little I got older, I found weights. I started lifting. I was very, very strong. I just had immense power. Maybe that was just anger, but I really fell in love with the weights, like the Henry Rollins story. 200 pounds is 200 pounds. The iron never lies to you. And I lived that moniker. I would lift every day, very heavy. I would train till exhaustion. And I found jiu-jitsu. My friend told me about, there's this thing called the UFC. Like everyone has heard of it. I want to train UFC. Even though it's the sport of MMA, but UFC was the flag holder at the time. And we would watch The Ultimate Fighter, and we would practice these moves on each other on the trampoline in the backyard. And And little by little, my friends kept with it. I went to play football. I went to play football in college. I played rugby. And then for some reason, I said, screw it. In order to train for football, I'm going to learn fighting, because if I could fight, getting hit by 300 plus men on a football field would be nothing. And I fell in love with fighting, with jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, boxing, and I kind of left the team sports and started becoming a true martial artist. And taking all that anger and trauma and everything that has bothered me, and I instilled it and honed it and crafted my skills as a martial artist. And that is what you see in the wrestling ring today.
It's fascinating. I mean, again, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you're a purple belt.
Yes, sir.
You are trained in Muay Thai.
Yes, sir.
But you also have the United States Air Force on your resume. So you're a military veteran.
Yes,
so
sir.
all of this discipline, this channeled rage, this ability to be able to go all the way if you have to, I wonder, are you too dangerous for pro wrestling?
I wouldn't say I'm too dangerous for pro wrestling. I feel like pro wrestling now is my playground, because I'm not a confrontational person, but once you cross me, it's very hard to get out of that situation. It's just, I'm not one to speak about locker rooms or anything like that, but I feel like my persona gives me the respect I have, because it's not a facade of any sort. It is truly who I am. It's the same thing if I'm sparring someone. Hit me as hard as you want to get hit. And that is the same thing. Respect me how much you want to be respected, because when I walk into that locker room, everyone has my respect until you do something to make me not respect you anymore, if that makes sense.
I'm telling you, this guy is something else, folks. You hear that? Hit me as hard as you want to be hit. That's a T-shirt. That's a billboard. That's on somebody's gravestone. Jesus Christ.
That is the Carlos Condit special. When he went overseas to spar the Marines, he told them, all right, guys, we're just sparring, but hit me as hard as you want to get hit. And if you start swinging on a trained killer, there are repercussions.
Incredible. When it comes to pro wrestling in particular, because we know about your chops in mixed martial arts, obviously we know about your military background. I mean, you're not getting into the Air Force unless you're elite, both in terms of physical ability and also mental ability. The Air Force has some of the most intelligent people in all militaries, no question about that. In pro wrestling, where did you learn your chops? Who helped you refine your skills in the pro wrestling world?
So it was summer of 2022. It was still during somewhat lockdown still happening with COVID and everything like that. And I'm sitting down, and I was 0-3 right now for people pulling out of fights. I had 3 fights lined up, and my opponents kept pulling out. And I was cutting weight. I was cutting to 185 and 170 pounds. That is a lot of weight to cut for me. At the time, I was naturally sitting at 200, 205 pounds. And I'm looking, I said, is this what I truly want to do? I keep destroying my body for something that may or may not happen. And I just sat with myself. I said, you know what, let me do what I really want to do. I always want to be a professional wrestler. And I found fighting because I thought it was professional wrestling, as most people do. And I realized, I'm good at fighting. Let me continue this. But I just sat with myself. I said, I don't want to live with the what if. I joined the military at 26. I said, screw it. Let me see what I can do for my country. I saw the world. I visited basically all of Europe, came back to the States. And it was the same thing with wrestling. I said, I don't want to live with this regret. So I Googled local wrestling schools, and I came across the Wrestling Lab. I had no idea what it was, and I saw who was running. Okay, I saw it was ran by Coach Jay Lethal. I called the school. I had no idea I was speaking to Coach Jay. I'm saying, hey, sir, I'm intrigued by the school. I would like to sign up. He told me, well, this class just started about a month and a half, 2 months ago. You would have to start in the summer. And because I'm very impatient, I said, sir, I will start yesterday. That's how bad I want to do this. I don't want to wait for the summer. And I literally said to him, quiet mouths do not get fed. If you want to soar with the eagles, you cannot hang with the crows. And in typical Coach J's fashion, he just does that little laugh. I'll see you tomorrow. I go tomorrow, the next day, I grab I had all my wrestling gear. I didn't even know what to bring. He's like, you're not wrestling today. I just wanted to show you the gym and fill out some paperwork. And from there, the rest was history. I was trained in the beginning by Coach Jay Letho, Coach David Mercury, and Coach Big Khan. And those men gave me so much of their time and effort. As busy as they were, I am forever grateful for them.
That's not a bad crew there to get your start in the wrestling business. You've been doing some additional training recently with some folks who have a similar background to you in the martial arts world, right?
Yes, sir. So about 8 months ago, I saw online by Malakai Black that I'm opening a school. We're doing some trial runs. Please contact the Dark Arts and give your information, how many matches you've had. And I said, well, this is a lot closer to me now. Let me shoot my shot. Let's see what happens. I wrote the school. Within 30 minutes, I receive a message back. Thank you for writing us. You have your slot. And I had that nervous feeling in my stomach, like I was about to go into a fight again, because it's just something new. It's someone I have looked up to in wrestling in regards to character work and as well as martial arts style that I've emulated. And I said, let me just go for it. And now 8 months later, I've been there and I have been living the dream. And I love every second of it because it's not for the faint of heart. Coach Malakai is a very detailed oriented and very involved coach. And I will always say this because I give credit where credit is due. The wrestling lab with Coach J, Coach Khan, and Coach Mercury, they taught me how to wrestle. They taught me how to cook food. At the Dark Arts, they're teaching me how to season and marinate my food. And that is the best way I could describe it. You need both to have a perfect meal.
I'm telling you, this is a complete machine right here, folks. Ronin, you are going to hear this name a lot going forward. There's no two ways about it. That's why I tell you, you definitely got to check them out online because you'll understand what I'm talking about when you see it. Now, the River City Wrestling Con is coming up. And from what I understand, you are going to be making an appearance there, right?
Yes, sir. I am making my debut there. I have a match June 8th against Tone Felix.
Wow. Well, Tone Felix, and I know who that is. You're a great competitor, great athlete, but God bless, brother. My goodness, God bless.
Thank you.
Will you make any time to sign autographs, meet some of the folks after you've finished doing whatever it is that you're going to do in the ring there?
I have no issue meeting anyone that is respectful and doesn't try to hug me from behind because you will get tossed. But all jokes in all seriousness, yes, I am willing and able. I want to meet anyone who is there to support me. I am there to pay it forward because you are spending your money, time, and energy to watch me wrestle as well as anyone else who is on the card. And who am I not to say yes? You took your time to drive and see me perform and knock someone out or choke them out unconscious. Why not take a picture or say hello?
Incredible. Incredible. Well, listen, I keep telling everyone to check you out online. It's time to let them know how to do that. What's the best way that fans can follow you on your journey, and also promoters who may want your brand of destruction, of violence in the ring, what have you, if they would like to get in touch with you? What's the best way everyone can reach out to you?
Honestly, the best way to get in touch with me is on Instagram, and my handle is at I am Ronin, and it is spelled IAMR. Instead of the letter O, it is a 0 NIN. So I am Ronin with a 0. And that's where you can find me, bookers, matchmakers, whatever the case may be, new fans, old fans. If you want to talk shit, if you want to praise me, it does not matter. I welcome it all. And it's just on the one handle. I don't have Twitter or X, whatever it's called. I'm very basic. I'm just honing my craft and just on to the next one as always.
All right, but before I let you go, I got to ask you one last question here.
Yes, sir.
When you're not beating people up, when you're not sharing, war stories with Malakai about who you terrified or what have you, because he's a whole other level of scary as well. What do you like to eat that is a treat? It's like something that, you know what, I don't have this often, so when I have it often, it matters to me. This is the meal. Because, as an Air Force guy, you've been all over the world as well. So I'm very curious about this. What does Ronin like to feast on as a celebration?
Ooh, it is pretty wild because for me everything is mood based, almost like my character, right? Depending on the mood is the type of Ronin or type of violence you might get. So personally, if it's celebrating, it is my new thing now because I had it for the first time and it is rather delicious. I had Five Guys for the first time, I would say a month ago. So now my go-to is a double bacon cheeseburger with Cajun fries with a side of small fries. Mix the bag up and just be a fat ass for the next 45 minutes.
Strictly for the culture. Brothers and sisters, you have seen the t-shirts, the hats, the hoodies, the mugs in the hands of some of your favorite pro wrestling stars, podcasters, and influencers out there. And now it's time. Visit strictlyfortheculture.ca and you too can be part of the movement. Bigger than sweatshirts and commercial success, Strictly for the Culture aims to build with like-minded people and elevate their position in the world through knowledge, self-love, and a desire to unite. So what are you waiting on? Visit strictlyfortheculture.ca. Do it for the love. Do it for the knowledge. Most importantly, folks, do it strictly for the culture. Till next time, be kind to yourselves and be kind to others. Take it away, Tony Schiavone.
This is Tony Schiavone, and we're desperately out of time on Duke Loves Rasslin.